Discuss the process of urbanization in the 19th century industrial England. Marks 10 to 12. Answer. Rapid urbanization in the 19th century England was closely associated with the process of industrialization. The dismantling of the home-based industry saw a regular influx of the new workforce into the established urban areas like London, Manchester, Liverpool and Cambridge. Urbanization, which actually began from the 15th century itself, got its maturity in the 19th century when the cities became saturated with workers of various professions. By the middle of the 19th century, more than half the population was residing in towns and cities. Urbanization, however, brought a series of problems in its wake. Without adequate planning and infrastructure to cope with the consistent flow of people to the towns, there was a rapid growth of slums. The slums housed a majority of the labor force in industrial England. But various problems like overcrowding, frequent diseases, influx of criminals, etc., made the life pathetic for the dwellers in the slums. Outside the slums, life was organized in a different way. By the 1870s, the municipal bodies in the various English towns were trying to attend to the immediate needs of the dwellers. The Municipal Corporation Acts of 1835 and 1882 brought about considerable uniformity in the administration of the towns. In the second half of the 19th century, many of the industrial areas like Manchester and Liverpool became bustling urban centres. Manchester housed numerous cotton spinning mills and by the 1830s it numbered close to 100. The first modern railway line was constructed between Manchester and Liverpool. By the middle of the century, Manchester became a trade centre with diverse commercial structures in place. This was a remarkable graduation from its condition as a cotton manufacturing town in the previous century. Manchester also led in providing a direction to English cultural and intellectual life. Manchester Guardian was a very influencing newspaper in spite of its provincial bias. The grammar school of the city was considered by many to be a model of education in the country. It had centres for music education, schools and parks, and fostered an intellectual and cultural climate that other English cities tried to emulate. Manchester was also the site of the Peterloo Massacre, an event that highlighted the problems as well as the benefits of industrialization. Liverpool likewise was another rapidly developing urban centre in Victorian England. Trade relations with America and the West Indies enabled the city's economy to flourish in the 18th century itself. The Liverpool Triangle was a very effective business arrangement that made exchange of slaves in Africa in lieu of manufactured items feasible, which was again exchanged with products like sugar, molasses, and spices in the West Indies. The railway network made access to and from the city cheap and easy. Life in the capital city London was already fast, and even pre-industrial London was familiar with the exigencies of urbanization. In the industrial age, the population of London exceeded 1 million and by the middle of the 19th century it had crossed 2.3 million. Many of the problems faced by the new industrial cities were already part of London life as well. Industrialization had considerably affected the demographic pattern in the cities with movement of people taking place with consistent regularity. The new industrial cities had numerous problems which were not part of life in the pre-industrial age. Housing, sanitation, water, the basic requirements of modern living, were not always available for all the urban dwellers. In addition, noise, filth, chimney smoke from factories, bad streets, and poor work conditions had become natural attributes of town life in Victorian England. The cities were heaven of crime, and the quietness of the countryside became a thing of the past for the urban population. The picture Charles Dickens portrays in many of his novels of highly potent criminality exemplifies the experience of this phenomenon. Urban living had its benefits too. Products became cheaper and more easily accessible, the customer had a wider choice, markets opened up, the insularity of village life was replaced by a growing cosmopolitanism, and fast life became a part of modern man's existence. Transportation and communication, especially through the railways and the telegraph, became easy like never before. Finished. Please subscribe to the channel for more updates of ready-made notes on English literature.